Good evening, everyone, ladies and gents. Here we are with the Group Chat HQ podcast by LiveDuel. Before we go into the topics today, which are important, I'm really looking forward to this one. I introduce you to our desk. Desk?
Here's the desk. I've been
Guest.
to IKEA.
Guest is the word I was going for. Dale, I'm going to start with you. I've got a question for you before we start.
Is it going to be
Yogi
something
Bear,
horrible about me?
You
go on.
described yourself as Yogi Bear in one of your TikTok videos recently.
Yeah.
Would you care to elaborate?
Yeah, so I've got, if you must know, not full on Yogi Bear, but I'm like 5'11", so I'm not short, but I've got very short legs. I've got like 28-inch legs. Like I buy short, if I buy suit trousers, I buy short trousers. Like people that are like 5'2" have the same size leg as me. I've just got a very long body, which means I even have less of an excuse for being so obese, which is actually a bit upsetting. So thanks for bringing that up. But yeah,
that took a turn for the worst. I personally just found it quite funny, and I needed to know. But
yeah, no, I've just got really short legs, man. I honestly do. If I buy like a pair of like baggy jeans or something, honestly, I look like fucking MC Hammer, mate. It's a joke. I have to kind of like pull them up over my fucking belly button and put a belt on. Very
that
annoying.
Bombshell,
Peek behind the curtain there.
Curtis, try follow that one up. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Made better by that entrance from Dill. He's just trying to cover the fact that he actually isn't 5'11". He's actually 5'9". But yeah, all good, mate. Having a good night.
Okay. And just to keep things, I don't know, uniformed, we're not going to call you Connor. We're going to go with JD just to avoid confusion further down the line. Yeah. JD, how are we?
I'm good. Obviously, my team are too big to be playing tonight and tomorrow night. So we've got the week off. So I just got the North London derby on Sunday. That's it.
Do you know what? It's really generous of all your players and past managers to think, you deserve a break, so we won't get in any European competition. It's really considerate of them, saving your money, saving your time.
There's
quite good.
One team I'm supporting this week, and
it's Celtic, is it? Oh, it's Bayern, is it now?
No, every
what a sad little life, JD. What a sad little
life. Every Tottenham fan following Harry Kane. I get it. So today's show, we're going to be talking a lot, and we're doing our own top 10 Premier League managers right now. I think this topic, more than ever, is important to go into. You're seeing teams like your Brightons, like your... there's a couple, isn't there, that are just being coached very well, that are overshadowing the big boys, the ones which spend the money. It used to be manage your team well, get a chance, spend the money well, and that's how you become a big manager. But coaching nowadays, in my opinion, is more important than ever. We've all done our own top 10. Like I said, at the start of the show, we're going to go through 10 to 6. Then we'll have a little break for a game of football, tennis. Then we're going to do 5 to 1, tennis again, do a couple of Premier League predictions, and we'll finish off, of course, on football, tennis. Curtis, I'm going to come to you first. Now, before we'll grab your 10 to 6 on the screen in a second. But before you go into why ex-managers are not included and why some are going to be included, can you talk me through how you came to a decision in how you set up your list? Because I've got a feeling that some of us might be a little bit different on how we approached it.
Yeah, I mean, it was tougher than I thought, to be fair. It was tougher than I thought to pick the 10 out that I was going to go for. I think initially what I did was I picked the 10 in no random order, and then tried to rank them based on... there was a few factors. The main one being what they've done kind of in the Prem, but then obviously that was a little bit harder with regards to some of the newer managers, so I had to also take into account what they've done elsewhere. Yeah, that was the kind of main gist I went for. So the Premier League, what they've achieved in the Premier League was the initial kind of scale, but then again, with the other newer managers that have been there for less amount of time, looking back a little bit further, there's also a few that I've left out that we can talk about as well, which I'm sure you United fans will enjoy.
Oh, piss off.
Is that a hint there? Can we get Curtis's 10 to 6 on the screen, and then I'll go for it. So you got, I mean, I don't disagree with the names that are on there in terms of do they deserve to be, because I mean, Eddie Howe's kind of earned his flowers in the Premier League already, and going by what you've already said, that makes a lot of sense. Emery, could argue Arsenal not so successful, but that turnaround at Villa last season was insane, really. Andrew's only been here 2 minutes. Silva and Frank. let's go with the exclusions. Give me your honourable mentions and why they're not on there.
Well, as previously mentioned, the main honourable mention here will be Eric Ten Fraud. He's not on my list. He's not still. Get over it, mate. He's not on the list.
Why?
Actually, because he's a dick. Like mainly, that's the. No, we can discuss it. Well, we'll have to wait and see. I just feel like, right, again, take it as what you want, right? This is a friendly little list still. If you're going to cry about it, fella, we can step outside, all right?
It's not that deep. I'm not biting.
You are going to bite in a minute. Eventually you will. Dan, you might not because you're a bit more level-headed than our friend Dill. However, mate, Ten Hag, right, realistically, what did you come third last year? Carabao Cup?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, underachieved, yeah. And I just oh, there's one. I just feel like he's not got it in him. At Ajax, everyone goes to Ajax and wins everything. It's basically impossible to not do that.
It's not though, is it? Because they've been shit for the past 3 years since he left. They've had 2 or 3 managers have really struggled. They've not got anywhere near the Champions League.
The league's getting stronger, I think.
Pardon?
I think the league's getting stronger elsewhere.
That's a good flip side. I'm sure you watch a lot of Eredivisie football.
Mate, Eredivisie every morning. I think 11:30 they normally start on the Sundays. So big fan of the Eredivisie. Yeah.
Sure.
I'm going to change the question quickly. What? Okay, I'm going to rephrase it. What has Frank Silva and Ange done, which Ten Hag hasn't, to be included?
Yeah. All right. This is going to be a bit of a come at Kurt now for not picking Ten Hag. I get what's going to go on here with you United fans in charge.
No. I'm just asking the question.
That is fair. Maybe it is fair.
Your list is got Thomas Frank in 10, and then you got Silva in 9, and then Ange in 8. Like specific. If Ten Hag was going to creep onto your list, let's say, like he hasn't done enough to get in your top 10, what have these guys done that Ten Hag hasn't?
All right, Dill. If this makes you feel better, could Ten Hag be in the top 10? Yeah, he could, mate. All right, he really, really could. I mean, how long has he been there for now? Is it just the second full season?
Yeah, it's his second season. Yeah, he's been there a season.
He was only here last season. That was it.
Okay, I just feel like especially it's not much to go off this season, right? Because you've been trash, but we're also only 5 games in, which I completely get. I don't know. I just feel like he could be doing a lot better. Like you boys, we've mentioned this before. The squad you've currently got on paper is solid. He's got the signings he wanted. However, you don't really have a style of play. You don't really have any sort of identity at the moment. And I'm not saying that won't improve. I just feel like at the moment he's not offering or getting United to a level that they should be at. And that's why he's not on the list.
I think that's obviously... I fully agree with your comments about how we are recently. As you know, when I was on the other day, I ranted and raved about how poor we've been so far this season. But from my perspective, that's very recency biased as a take in general. I think, like after what he did last season, I think it's. I don't know if you try to get me a bite or nibble or not, but he absolutely did not underachieve last season. We didn't play the greatest football, but after those first 2 games where it looked absolutely fucked, to pick us up and finish 3rd comfortably in the top 4, win a trophy, get to this, get far in the FA Cup as well, beating the likes of Barcelona, and after only getting a few signings and all the other stuff going on around the club. I don't think that can be understated, and obviously he's going to have to step on at some point, and we're going to have to get on to winning bigger trophies or at least challenging for them. But I cannot believe that you're not having Eric Ten Hag in your top 10. All the rest of it I agree with. I think having Howe over Emery's a bit nuts, to be honest, given their standings in the game and what they've both done so far.
They could definitely flip.
I think not putting Ten Hag in is literally going to be purely based on the first 5 or 6 games this season, which I think is completely unfair because there's a lot of teams that underachieve, and I guarantee you've got Poch in your top 5, and you've been even worse.
I'm going to give Curtis a break for a second because if we get
for that was not being in the hot seat, man. Jesus.
No, it's not. Everyone's going to get it when it comes to their turn. Don't worry about that.
I'll get it as well. You won't agree with mine.
Can we get Connors on the list as well, please? We'll get Connors up next. We'll give him with a chance to have a look.
Fuck right off.
Oh, no Ten Hag. Whoa. Wait,
Connor,
also, the thing here, the 2 United fans.
Top 5.
You should have to wait and see for my top 5 now, won't you?
I need to talk about your.
No, we need to know.
No. Yeah.
Is he on it?
No, he's not on it. No.
Same question. This sentence sounds mental, right? I'm gonna let you all digest this question as I say it. What does Ten Hag need to do
to be ranked above Steve Cooper?
to get above Nottingham Forest Steve Cooper. Oh, how does floor is yours?
So, I have an agenda against Ten Hag, purely because of the fact he's come in, he's had all this spat with Ronaldo. Obviously, Ronaldo's a big name, but Dill, listen, right?
I'm listening. I'm waiting for something to be worth
big
listening
names. I feel like the respect from the players isn't there. You're looking at Jadon Sancho now. How many times is it going to take for players to come forward?
So your argument on why he's not 10th is because Ronaldo left and he's don't get on with Sancho.
Yeah, I agree.
No, that is one of the reasons. It's not the only reason.
Okay. What else?
But he's just not a very likable fella. The press isn't he's not very good in the press. When he first joined United, he said, all eras end, pretty much giving Man United fans massive amounts of hope.
But then you love Ange because he tells you to dream and get carried away thinking your shit club's going to win anything this season, right? So, you have to give them some sense of belief.
I think that quote's getting taken because I mean it got quoted a lot and it got put above like in wearing a suit in the middle of Old Trafford and after we started, that's where it became a big thing. What he said was eras come to an end. That isn't even.
Imagine if it Dan. Imagine if he came in.
Talk. That's just a fact. They really do.
Well, imagine he came in and said, "Yeah, we'll try and challenge City and Liverpool and Arsenal, but it might not work." Like, he's gonna have to come in and say something. It just like it gets like bounded around nowadays as this like cold comment when it was literally said in passing in a press conference like that. That has been deep way too much. I think in terms of where Ten Hag would be on my list, is not that high on mine. I'll tell you that now. But I think you could argue the likes of Howe and Emery, based on what you're setting, what people like and what people are basing their arguments on. You could have Ten Hag beneath them, and I wouldn't actually hate it. But I think to have him below, especially Cooper and Moyes and Frank and people like that, I think's crazy. And I just think it's a lot of recency bias. Yeah, he hasn't got on with a lot of the players, but like I've said in the past, Man United have struggled so much because the player power has been so ridiculous and they're all knobheads and prima donnas, and that's a fact, and we know they are. So I don't really mind him cracking the whip. If he falls out with Sancho, well, so what? The player we spent 70 million quid on who's been shit under another manager anyway is not going to play. I'm not really that arsed, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, I didn't actually give Connor the chance to answer this question because I had when I saw the lists come through, I had assumptions about how you went about doing it. The way that Curtis explained how he did his list wasn't what I was assuming it was going to say. So maybe I'm doing you a little bit injustice. So, JD, tell me how you did your list.
So at first, I was just going to do it purely off this year. I thought 25 games in, let's not do that. So I've done it over. Again, it might go down to recency bias, correct? But I got my 10, and I was just like, okay, who's had more of an impact on the club in the short time that they've been here? And the teams and the managers that are on the list have done more for the clubs, I guess.
So can we get your list? I just want to get the list back up again. I'm just trying to understand. So going just off of that. So the impact that I'm massively assuming here, tell me if I'm wrong. The impact that Cooper and Moyes and Frank have had at their respected clubs, you think have had a more positive effect than what Ten Hag has had at Man United?
Currently, yes. All in all, on and off the field.
Right. I don't hate that. That's a good point, to be fair. I do think people underrate what Ten Hag did was last season based on how absolutely horrid we were in the Ranić era at the end of Ollie. But it's not horrible. I do get that viewpoint. I just think it's a bit too much has gone against Ten Hag, and like the first few games this season have gone against him. If we were top of the league level with City, it'd be in everyone's top 3 or 4. I think.
Let's get deals.
What I want to say is, this time last year, where were you? You had the same sort of outcome. You were getting battered by Brentford. You're getting battered by Brighton. Like you still weren't beat. Yeah, you still weren't beating these teams that really Manchester United should really beat.
Yeah, but that's just a boring point now. Manchester United haven't been Manchester United for 10 years. Do you know what I mean? I get I do get what you're saying. I don't think there's been any progress from last season to this season, but I think everyone's underrating the progress from the season before to his first season. And we're still only 5 games in. There's a lot of caveats to it. The Greenwood, Anthony, Sancho situation, a situation with the Glazers, all these injuries we've got as well. Mount not hitting the ground running and getting injured. Your star striker now being a 20-year-old kid who hasn't even played a full proper season of elite senior football. There's a lot of things that go into it. And like I've said, he deserves some blame, as do the players, a lot of it, in fact, for what's gone on. It can't all be blamed on these things going around outside the club or within the club that we don't see off the pitch. But I don't, there definitely is. There's stuff that balances it out. The situation at Man United isn't perfect. It's not a harmonious environment, and that's why no manager's really succeeded. Because we can maybe finish 3rd this season, 4th, win a League Cup and FA Cup, but if we're ever going to go on and win the league or challenge for it, we need everyone at the club to be pulling in the right direction, and that's still not happening. And I can't see it ever happening until them fucking Yank pricks go.
It would help if your players, it would help if your players like turned up on time and didn't punch women. Like, that would help.
Yeah, exactly. There'd be a lot less pressure on him then.
Yeah, I agree.
He's had a lot to deal with, like the Ronaldo situation.
Yeah.
I think he made the right decision, to be honest. He was dragging the team down, speaking out against the club and the manager and some other players. I don't think that's an untenable situation, no matter who you are. So he has had a lot to deal with. He's had more to deal with off the pitch than any manager I've seen in the modern era, certainly in recent times, anyway.
Yeah. Well, there's the Sancho, there's the Anthony stuff, which has just reared its head. The Ronaldo stuff, De Gea, he's dropped his captain. He's getting a lot just because we're in England, and the English press love to ask questions about when's Harry Maguire going to play. He hasn't had it easy for sure. Deal, let's get your list on the screen.
Okay, I've kind of forgot what it is, but there you go. I know Connor's going to take. Sorry, JD's going to take issue with Anjin number 10 there.
Before we start. Tell us how you come about your list, because I think that's the fairest question to get into.
Okay, so with this, I kind of considered everything. So what have they done in the past? What have they won? In like recent times, I'm not talking 10, 15, 20 years ago, if the managers have been in the game that long. What have they done in the past? How are they performing at the clubs right now? And not taking too much recency bias into it, where I'm going to solely base this how good 10 managers are on the first 5 games of a Premier League season. So a little bit of everything's gone into it, really. Like Poch, for example, you could say if you're basing him on his managerial status now, based on his seasons at PSG and how he's doing at Chelsea, he definitely wouldn't make the top 10. But still, that stuff at Tottenham and me knowing that he is a good manager goes into that. So if that sums it up, that's basically what it is.
No, that makes a lot of sense. My approach was similar. Mine differs slightly. The way I set mine up was actually I found myself disagreeing with myself, but I stuck with the rules. So it is what it is. So I mean, let's go with the ones that you've left out, or the ones that you didn't want to leave out.
Mm-hmm. I think the only manager I left out that I didn't want to was David Moyes, really. The only one, and Marco Silva, but David Moyes more so. Just because of that Conference League, the win with West Ham, getting them into the Europa League and stuff. And I think he's dealt with a lot of shit rebuilding teams and stuff. I think he's a very good manager. Doesn't play the best football. But yeah, Marco Silva I didn't want to leave out because of how well he's done with Fulham. But I think objectively, I could say quite confidently that these 10 are all better managers than him from what I've seen. Especially when you take into account Silva's reigns at like Hull and Everton as well. They're not too distant past. And Ange being 10th is purely based on, as I'm sure we'll get into with Connor's list in a bit, he's done very well at Tottenham. He's got a good harmony around the place. He's rebuilt well, made some good signings after Kane left, spent that money well, it seems, at the minute. But it's still only 5 games into a Premier League season. He's not really done anything of note in his career so far that makes me want to put him even in this list, to be quite frank. Yes, he did well at Celtic. Yes, he won the league. But they're going to win it under Brendan Rodgers now, who just got Leicester relegated. That's a fact. It doesn't always take the best manager. And the only other team he's managed of note is one in Yokohama. So, I can't put someone who's not tested himself at the top level, like all of these managers have in the Prem for at least a season or two, above someone like that. He's a very good manager, and I've got no doubt that he probably is a better manager than some of these, but I've just not seen enough of it yet to definitely say that.
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah,
you mentioned Poch before. It's the first time we've seen Poch on the list, but
yeah,
why is he in 8th? I mean, you've already mentioned before. I'm just trying to word this question properly because I'm trying to get in your head. If Poch, you said already, is below Ten Hag, and we're talking about recency bias, and I don't know if you was a massive fan of what he did at PSG. Obviously, he's got his Tottenham past. What's allowed him to be in the list?
I think, like I said, just more his past work, like at Spurs. I know it was a long time ago at Southampton, and I know he's a good manager. Managing PSG has never worked for any manager that's really been there, and they've had some fucking good managers. So I don't think that's a litmus test to base a manager's ability on, because everyone usually wins the league, the shit in the Champions League, get sacked for, stay there for a couple of seasons, rinse and repeat, and that's how it always goes. And then beyond that, he's only been at Chelsea for 5 games. He's not hit the ground running. They've not done well, but there's also caveats to that. They've spent a lot of money, but it's mostly on young players. There's a lot of different situations going on at Chelsea right now as well. It's a bit toxic, especially the fan base. So all of that rolled together with what he did at Tottenham, which was still only 5 years ago max, when he got into the Champions League final 4 years ago. So yeah, I just think based on how much I've seen of him, his majority of his managerial career has been spent in the Premier League. He's impressed me at every Premier League club he's been at so far, Spurs and Southampton. And again, Spurs got sacked at Spurs because he thought they could do better, sacked him. Look, what a shock they didn't. And now they're spending shitloads of money with other managers to try and get that to work. So yeah, I just quite like Poch. He plays a good brand of football. He's very good at bringing youth through. So that's it. And he's done a lot in the game, especially in the English game. And that's what I watch with most of my footballing viewing. So that's why he's 8th. And I don't think that's that ridiculous, to be honest.
Okay, no, that's fair. I want to go back with Curtis and JD just for the Poch and the Ange thing, but I think it'll make way more sense to do it when we come around to the second half of the list and then do it at that stage. You can bring mine up quickly. I'll just explain mine. I'm happy to move on from this, but in terms of the bottom half, because there isn't much differences, if I'm honest. So when I went through my list, mine was more based on what football looks like now and what they offer their clubs. So it was more, if you wanted to make this really simple, would be if I was to pick a manager tomorrow for my make-believe club, what managers would I entrust with that team? The only one on there that I wasn't sure about, and this is massively disrespectful, by the way, and I don't mean as it sounds. Emery, I was umming and ahhing about it just because of the brand of football that he plays. He's tried to evolve it at Villa recently, and they've been caught on the halfway line so many times that I'm just not sure that it's going to evolve that way, which is the direction which football is going in. He has to be on the list just because of his pedigree within football. It's almost disrespectful to have him 10th, but the way I set up the list is why he's there. Everyone else we've kind of touched upon. I think not having Ten Hag on a list is mental. I do agree with Dill. The biggest reason is that coming off of arguably, I think the points tally was the worst in the Premier League.
Yeah. Well, it was worse than when we finished 7th under Moyes, yeah.
And to go from that, and then the start he had, the problems he's had to deal with, we mentioned it already with the Ronaldo situation, everything else that went on last season, the Maguire hype all the time, why are you dropping him, the different brand of football, to finish 3rd with the quality of teams that were in the league, to get to the FA Cup final and to win the League Cup in your first season, beat Barcelona. There's levels there and there's a lot to be built on. I do think it's a lot of recency bias, and I'm worried. The points that Curtis made as well, and when JD said about what they've done for the club, I do have those worries, but we haven't seen those worries. They don't exist yet, which is why he's in 6th.
I do think it's harsh to put Emery that low. To be honest, I think I know you're basing it off the brand of football and what you like, which again is a fair point. But he's standing in the game. I think he was a bit underrated in his spell at Arsenal, which we saw when Arteta picked that team up and how poorly he did with those initially. Yeah. I know there's a lot of caveats to that and him trying to change the culture at the club and the style of football, but still. And then at Villa, what was it? He got only less points than City after he took over last season, or possibly just City and Arsenal, which obviously insane. The brand of football isn't amazing, but it gets results. Villa have, they're like 9th in the league, and they've only lost to Liverpool and Newcastle, which I don't think there's much shame in. Yeah, the Newcastle defeat was particularly heavy, but first day of the season, sometimes it does throw up freak results. I quite like Unai Emery. I think what he's done at Villa has been really underrated. And the stuff with the high line, he's tried to evolve and stuff. Again, he might have only started to do that once he signed Pau Torres towards the end of the window. So that can take a lot of time. I fully get your point. I'm just saying I quite rate Unai Emery.
Yeah, no, to me, this evolution, I'm pulling for Emery just because, I like the bloke. I think he was really likable. Even at Arsenal, I begrudgingly liked him. I listened to his interviews and stuff, not just because he says good opening, but it's more to do with how he likes. You can tell the players love him, the fans get behind him as well, and especially on those European campaigns, you can see where his specialities lie, and you can feel momentum when he starts building up towards the end of the season as well. And it happened with Villa last year as well. So I've got a lot of time for Emery. It's just when I looked at the rest of the list, I thought if they took over I don't know, Tottenham tomorrow, where would Poch look? Where does Howe look? Where does Frank look? And I just think they, in today's game, have a little bit more to offer than what he does, which is why my list is set as the way it is. But I agree, it's disrespectful. Let's play some football tennis.
Woo! Oh, that would have been mint if we had a little intro jingle then.
No, I know.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Boom. We need to invest.
We need some jingles, Grimble.
David, you've got the graphics ready. if we've got the order and the graphics ready on the thing, then I'll run off of that because I was just about to pull one of the football tennis questions up, but I wasn't sure which one to go for. Which
I've got no
relates to
idea
you.
what these are
I
as
hate
well, so I'm
this.
quite apprehensive towards
My
it. So
mind's
if
just
I'm going to win any, no
blank.
offense, boys, it's going to be this one because James and Connor aren't here.
Oh yeah, no, you're the bookies' odds-on favourite, mate. Also, Newcastle just nearly scored a 95th minute winner. Wild.
Did they? Is it still 0-0?
Yeah, literally last kick of the ball now. Trippier's got a corner if you want some live commentary.
Go on, Trips.
It's all right. I've
I
got
want
it ready. I've got
I
it
want him
ready.
to lose.
Let's do it.
So this one, there are 23 possible answers.
Oh, that's
I'm
not
not. I reckon it's possible, but I think it's unlikely that we will go round and run out of answers. It's
Okay.
possible. I will say that much. I think the first there's a couple of rogue ones in here, and there's a couple which, if you say you're out, and I wouldn't blame you, but we're just going to run with it. We are going through, gents. We are going through the 2018 England squad in the World Cup. So
Ooh.
players.
Oh
Okay.
God.
Players.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
I've got a good method for doing this. I'm hoping it works.
I don't. My brain's gone blank already.
So I feel that one.
Right, we'll go.
I'll
Deal-
start if you want.
We'll go Dill, Curtis, JD for the first one, and then we got 3 rounds of this anyway, so it's going to flip the whole
Okay.
time anyway. And as Dill's got
My
the method,
brain is
I'll
actually
start.
going blank already. Holy fuck! I need to think. I've got one.
Okay.
I'm just going. Oh, by the way, I'm just going to say yep when you go through.
Yeah. Let me know when
I
you're ready,
think
Dan.
it's,
I'll go get
you-
it.
I
Ready
think
when
it's
you are,
Buffett, Dill.
mate. 3,
Right.
2, 1.
Jordan Pickford.
Yep.
Harry Kane.
Yep.
Eric Dyer.
Yep.
Ashley Young. I know he was. That's Ashley Young was there.
Yep. It's my eyes. mate.
Jordan Henderson.
Kieran Trippier.
Yep.
Oh my
Wait,
god!
let-
Now
let
my
me, let me
man.
yep this. I'm flipping through because I don't want to make any mistakes. I looked at it earlier and there was like it was difficult to. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Raheem Sterling.
Marcus Rashford.
Bastard.
Yep.
Oh, he was no one. Jack Butland.
Oof.
Yep.
Really?
shout.
John Stones.
Yep.
Oh God. Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
I thought someone had said that.
I'm trying to think of the midfield.
Do 10.
There's loads of Spurs players, isn't it?
9.
This is wrong. Harry Winks.
That could be right. You know, I feel like you've clutched it there.
Harry Winks is not in the squad now.
I knew
Harry
it.
Winks wasn't there.
No.
I kind of felt like he was. You know,
No.
I'm surprised at that.
Del-
Right. Okay. Shit indeed. Oh no, I can't let this slip. Some more midfielders in there for sure.
I don't think we've gone through the starting lineup at all yet.
We probably haven't, you know, and that's mental.
Stop waffling.
Count me down, Dan, because if I don't, I'll just sit here all day. I've got one that it
Alright.
could be, but I'm not sure it's right.
Right,
So just count
10.
me down.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Shit.
Two.
Right, I'm gonna send it with Ben Chilwell.
Nope.
Oh
Curtis.
my god,
No
that was
shot.
abysmal. He needs to get one though, doesn't he?
Bro, I looked
Do I
at this
need-
squad
do I need one?
earlier. It's
I think
so
I need
rogue.
one to say.
You
Do I
do
need to get one?
win.
No.
He
no,
does,
no.
'cause I went first.
No,
Yeah,
no,
because
no,
Dill
no.
went first.
It doesn't. Yeah, normally it doesn't matter. Go on.
I mean, I was gonna say Adam Lallana, but I don't know if he's actually in it.
Lallana. No. You would have lost,
Oh,
but
no.
no, that's
What
fine. You
were
are
you
like it. Just that's just how. If you're first, you've got an advantage because you get the easiest pick,
No,
and then
yeah,
you've
that's
got
true,
a
I agree.
disadvantage to go for
I
it.
agree.
It's absolutely
lost
fine.
the
But
shit.
Curtis wins. That's absolutely terrible.
boys, there's so many big names in here. Jordan Pickford.
What about Luke Shaw?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, Trent.
Put it on the screen.
Oh, I knew Danny Rose was there. Fuck.
Cahill. Jay Lings.
Kyle Walker, man.
Yeah,
Fabian
Kyle
Delph.
Walker was an obvious one left out.
Oh, how did we not get Kyle Walker?
Jamie Vardy's that Jamie Vardy song was all over this World Cup.
Oh yeah, that was, yeah.
Danny Rose, for fuck's sake.
It's such
How
a
did I
rogue
get
squad,
Jack
though,
Butler
isn't it? It's
from
weird.
Rob?
It is a weird
It's a
squad though,
weird
isn't it? You
squad.
wouldn't
It's
think of that.
changed it's changed so much now. Like,
Yeah,
there's
it's
only,
changed
what,
so
about
much.
5 of them players still in the England's last England squad. And
Yeah,
most
I
of them
intend
Yeah.
to use that one, the 18 one, just because it isn't. Southgate's squad is so predictable, but that 18 one is
no,
Yeah, that's such a. How did
that
Loftus
really
Cheek get
is
in that
poor.
squad?
Look how
Yeah.
young Trent looks. Oh my days.
Yeah, he was 19 at
I
that.
can't believe you had to search up Ashley Young. He started like every game at left.
No, I
wing.
knew. I just didn't want to say yes and then not see him on the
Yeah,
list.
okay,
Like, I
fair.
just had to find him on the list for myself.
That was such a
Can't
weird squad. Is that why you picked it? Because it was so rogue?
Yeah, well, I know it's been, known it's been like, because everybody always says Southgate always picks the same squad, and my argument is look at 2018. I've always said that, but yeah, that's why.
That was really poor from me. That's embarrassing.
I think I was really
Curtis,
poor around,
enjoy your
to be
win.
fair.
It
We
was.
all had shockers.
We need to do better with the next one so we can.
I
actually
need
put
I
something
need
up.
James and Connor back.
I
also
usually
hate
do
England.
all right. I've
Yeah,
done
you do.
I've
To
done
be fair,
okay.
you do. Anyway, let's go back.
I
We're going to go back
just-
through the manager tier list as well. We got 5 to 1. I think mine's going to cause a little bit of confusion, but I'll explain it when it gets there. We'll start with Curtis again, just because it keeps the conversation flowing a little bit better. We'll go with Curtis's 5 to 1 first of all. I'll be honest. Not my biggest surprise with yours was obviously Ten Hag. I don't hate any of this. The biggest thing for me is how Poch. I want you to tell us now why Poch is definitely top 5 in the Prem.
I mean, is there going to be some sort of Chelsea bias? Yeah, there obviously is. However, like Dill touched on a lot of my points that I was going to make earlier. I think
Sorry.
the whole PSG. I think what he did at Spurs more than outweighs what he did at PSG in terms of the pros against the cons. I think that you can take a lot more from what Poch did in his managerial career from what he did at Spurs compared to PSG. Like Dill said, that PSG managerial job is basically cursed. They're now their mantra has been let's splash loads of money and win the Champions League. If you don't do that, you get fired essentially. So I think what he did at Spurs in terms of getting to that Champions League final, especially with that squad, which is in my opinion an average squad, I think was very underrated. I think, and again, his league performances were solid without really turning up roots, and obviously they weren't close to challenging. I mean, obviously you had the Leicester year, but I just think that everywhere he goes, he plays the right football. I mean, at Chelsea this year, again, it's hard to judge what he's going to be like because it's 5 games in. And I think, like you said, the way that Chelsea are at the moment, lots of transfers, lots of young players. The whole club has gone through a massive transition. So I don't think anyone would say that he was going to come in with all the money that we spent and suddenly we were going to be top 2 or 3 challenging with City and Arsenal. I don't think that was going to be possible. I think the realistic Chelsea fans knew that anyway. I think. And you get your average fans who are like, you spent £1 billion, you're going to win the league. That's not how it works. You boys know better than that. That's not how it works.
Yeah,
So I think he's higher. Again, he is probably higher because of my Chelsea bias. But also I think he tries to play the right football. I think even this year, pre-season, I know it's only pre-season, and I think since then we've had a few injuries that have kind of derailed us. But we were trying to play the right football, and we did look good in pre-season. And I think it's going to take a bit of time to get everyone back fit again. I mean, Reece James is basically again, I've said this a few times on this podcast before, all of our play goes through him, which is mental as a right back, but it does. So him being injured, I know it does sound crazy, changes how we play. And Nkunku as well looked good in pre-season. I think he's going to be massive when he does come back. And I think Poch was basically building the formation around him. So him getting injured, I think, has again derailed
him and
our
Jackson.
season.
It was him and
Yeah, the
Jackson
link-up was
pre-season, wasn't it? It was
the link-up was really good. And again, I'm not saying without those injuries we would be up there with City and Arsenal, because we wouldn't be. However, I think obviously Liverpool first game of the season we looked solid, and then I think that from then it's kind of been a little bit up and down. But that's more to the point. I think Poch in general plays good football. I think he is a good man manager and is tactically quite versatile and can change with the ways. I think he showed that since his Southampton days, and obviously football's changed a lot. Haven't really touched on that, but I think he did very, very good at Southampton. Obviously, to get poached by Spurs, you've got to be doing something right. That's why he's a bit high. Maybe he's a bit too high. However, that's why he's in 4th. I think, have I got Arteta below him? Yeah, I have.
Yeah,
because
that was my next thing. It's like, it's a little bit difficult to say. I mean, if you're going on, here's the problem that I have with it is obviously you've gone with what's happening right now, hence why Ten Hag wasn't on your list, and then you've given Poch the leeway of you've done so much in the Prem before. We know how good you are. We didn't expect as Chelsea fans to be up there anyway.
Yeah.
But then you've got somebody who's actively performing in Arteta.
Yeah, I agree.
Below him.
I agree. However, I also think that the narrative that Arteta is working miracles at Arsenal is incorrect. Like, they've also spent, I think think this is right. In the last 5 seasons, their net spend is the 3rd highest in the league, well above City. And I think the narrative gets lost that he's just turning out these players and making them world class. Don't get me wrong, he's improving players. They bought Odegaard for what, like 29 mil, and now he's obviously the talent's always been there, but he's kind of nurtured him into this midfield maestro that I rate so highly. I just feel like he's underachieved at Arsenal. Now, don't get me wrong, they are playing a very good brand of football, and I think they are doing better than Arsenal fans would have expected. However, I feel like with the money they've spent, and like last season, right, they applied pressure. That's what they did, didn't they? They were top of the league. If you'd have asked me throughout any time that season, I said City will win this league, and that's maybe not just because of Arsenal not doing what they should have done, and it's just City being the machine that they are. But last season, Arsenal were good, yeah, but again, they didn't do anything, did they? They came second, didn't win. But like, I just feel like the whole narrative around Arteta doing miracles is a bit overplayed, and I feel like they won one FA Cup, couple of FA Cups, really. Like, they were wrong. I think he's a good manager. That's why he's in the top 5. But I don't think he's as good as Arsenal fans make him out to be, and he's a cock. A massive cock. He's actually my least liked manager in the league, and I actually hate.
I'll be honest. I thought
same,
when this come around, same by the way. When this come about, and we was going to do the tier list, I almost guaranteed to myself that it was going to be Pep, Klopp, Arteta, 1, 2, 3 on everybody's list. JD, let's get your list up.
I'm waiting for Dill's reaction.
That is fucking garbage.
My Chelsea hat was on for Poch, but please explain this.
I can smell that through the screen. Go ahead, Connor, lad. Floor's yours.
So
I'm gonna start this just before you start. Right? If you supported Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah,
Ange wouldn't be there, and your list would be borderline perfect in most people's eyes. So why is Ange there?
No. Again, there is a bit of Spurs bias, hence why Poch isn't in my top 10.
A bit, really.
A bit. But if you remember what I said at the beginning, I donate on impact on the club in the most little time that they've had. Ange has been here 2 months. He's changed the name of our football club. We've gone from Kane FC to Tottenham Hotspur FC. We are a team now. We're not one person, as Pep likes to call us. We got kicked out of the Mickey Mouse Cup on the lottery of penalties, but 5 games, 4 wins and a draw at a place where it's very difficult to get points in Brentford. A lot of teams don't really get many points here, especially Chelsea, especially United. They don't get.
Can I just interrupt quickly? I know you say Mickey Mouse Cup, but you boys don't win cups. How is it a Mickey Mouse Cup? Surely you'd rather win a Mickey Mouse Cup. You'd rather win a Mickey Mouse Cup than nothing, which you haven't won for 15 years. Like,
I don't know. Yeah. I just find it. I know this is obviously heavy Spurs bias. I mean, you've put him above Champions League winning nearly Centurions, Premier League winning Jurgen Klopp. I mean, it's almost like saying, if you offered a Liverpool fan, would you swap Klopp for Poch? Poch, listen to me. I've gone back in time. If you swap Klopp for Ange, none of them are going to take it. I just want to know what poor old Klopp's got to do to finish above Ange.
So obviously, he's won everything that's been handed to him, right? They've done everything. But in the 7-8 years that he's been there, they've played the exact same football every single year. And I feel like Liverpool, in a way, they're just going backwards. They have a good March, April, May every single year, and Alisson will score a header and they get top 4 because they beat West Brom. But the style needs to be switched up. It's the same all the time. People catch them out, and the fan base is awful. He's just the excuses every single week. Oh, the pitch was dry. Oh, my glasses are broken. Like anything. Like he's just. There's always something. He's worse than.
You just don't like Klopp.
No, yeah, you hate Klopp. That's what we've got. That's what we've come down to it.
I hate Klopp, but I hate Liverpool probably more than, definitely more than you.
What, you don't like Scousers?
No, and Liverpool. I was just about to say Liverpool haven't played the same way. They have adapted, and it's very early in the season. I think Klopp still deserves a bit of credit for that, and we'll see where it goes. And if it could all fall to shit, it could all come together, and it could challenge City for the league and win something. Who knows? But I think just on the Ange point of view, I think we need a bit of perspective. Like, he's a good manager. He's funny. He's got a cool accent and that, and all, you know. And that sounds stupid. That genuinely does influence how people rate managers, stuff like that. That is true.
That's why I
Because
like
football
Emery.
fans are so fickle. Yeah. But a bit of perspective with who you played. You got to draw away from Brentford, which we have beaten them a couple of times there in the past. I know we had the big loss last season. You've beaten us, who, you know, you've said Ten Hag shit and United is shit, so that's no achievement. You beat Bournemouth, who are bad. You know, you lost to Fulham in the cup, and then you beat Burnley and Sheffield United, two newly promoted teams. So I'm not saying that is, you know, you can take away from that. And I'm sure United and Chelsea and Liverpool might lose to some of those teams this season, but I think it's a bit nuts to put Ange that high when you've had such an easy start to the season. He deserves credit for what he's done with spending the Kane money, like I said, and doing well with the squad. But I think everyone's massively overrating his achievements, but to buy a fucking country mile. Like who have you got coming up next? Let's see who you got. The North London derby, then you've got Liverpool.
You lose that.
You got North London derby, then you've got Liverpool. You could easily lose those two games, and then you could be what 8th, 9th, and then it's all is he the right man?
In mid-table,
that's how quickly it changes. Like I like him. He's funny. He's obviously a good manager. Is like you said, his influence with the harmony around the place and making you not Harry Kane FC anymore can't be understated, because not every manager you got in could have done that. But I do think it's fucking mental to have him that high. And obviously your biases come into it, but even when you take that bias off, there's no way he touches the top 5. There's no way possible.
I think like the only criticism I have of Jurgen Klopp over the last 4-5 years, maybe, because Liverpool for me have always gone forward until they went very far backwards. I think he was just stubborn. Like, he had this way of playing for a large majority of the last 3 years prior to the end of last season, where he just didn't want to adapt, knowing how well aged. I mean, Fabinho's still a good footballing age, but his body age probably tells a different story. And then having the likes of Milner, Thiago never being fit, and then Henderson in there as well. He needed to adapt, and eventually he did. James's comment came up a second ago. If it was 15 games left of the season, then great. But Trent inverting basically saved their season at the end of it, really.
Yeah.
And now also they've got this new influx of centre midfielders coming in. I think Curtis Jones is looking a lot better now, and that's obviously a big part of what Jurgen Klopp's doing at the football club. They look a lot better already. They're on the same points as Spurs right now. They do look like they know how to win games. I think their defence shape is probably the only area which I'm looking at thinking they can't challenge Arsenal and City, but I don't think they're absolutely miles off, and that's mainly because of no number 6 and not a natural number 6 in there. And I do think when they got Gomez at right back rather than Trent at right back, there's an issue there that needs to be fixed. I don't know what the answer is. Obviously that's his job, but yeah, Jurgen Klopp for me over the last 5 years has been one of the best in the world, and I can't put him lower than Ange. Dill?
Yes. I don't think there's too much to say with mine. Like, obviously, in my opinion, I think it's spot on, but I think that's a pretty level-headed opinion, an unbiased opinion.
I mean, we're pretty close, to be fair. We're pretty close.
Yeah, mine and Dan's bottom 5 were quite close as well, other than Emery, to be honest.
I understand why Emery is higher on your list. It's more to do with like the prestige, what he's done in the game. I nearly had him, but my whole the reason why I asked the question right at the beginning of the show in terms of how you come to get your list is because my opinion on my own list in my own head changed depending on how I look to set up.
Yeah, and that's what's funny about it. Like, you have it completely depends on what you're thinking about at that time, and it's very easy to change. Yeah, is there anything in particular you want me to mention from that list?
Right, I think one name which has obviously been on all of our lists is Pep, but another one is De Zerbi's one on all of them, and I think for very good reasons. I think you know why, but I think we'll do a little bit of unjust if we don't actually talk about it. You have done, Dill, here, which is what I've been waiting for, is for somebody to put him above Arteta.
I did that as well.
Sorry, I didn't notice.
I had mine and Dill's top 3 is exactly the same.
We'll run through it. Everyone's going to give him flowers anyway. Let's just talk.
Yeah. He's just brilliant, isn't he? Like the way that Potter came, he plays at such a different brand of football to Potter. A lot of people who say it's the same because they played good football before. It's not. The way he makes individuals that on the team sheet look like bottom half Premier League players, some of them even Championship players, and is pushing them on to challenging some of the best teams in the country and finishing, 5th, 6th, and getting in Europe with a team like that on not much of a budget. The way that players like Caicedo can go and others can go, and he just brings new players in straight away and integrates them, or might not even do that. He might promote someone from, the bench. He might play Adam Lallana more often, bring in a 36, 37-year-old fucking James Milner, and they look and slot straight into the system straight away. The football they play, the way that, and again, massive respect to him on Saturday, because the first 20 minutes against United looked really good. He realised what was going on and got his players to change like that, and instantly knew what to do in order to get the best out of his team and to beat Man United, even though we had a much better team on the pitch and name-wise. That can't be understated, like how clever that is to do that and to instantly realise and change it. The brand of football he plays is so nice to watch. He's got some of the best footballers to watch in the league in terms of watchability, like Mitoma and players like that. He hasn't spent lots of money. The way he can regenerate that squad after such a short amount of time, and coming last season when everyone thought it was over when Potter left, and pick them up and make them miles better than they were under Potter, by the way, and much more capable of beating big teams and actually not just getting a few good results, actually putting that into a good league finish that they haven't had before. It can't be understated. He's so good. He's so good.
I could literally talk about him. I could talk about him all day. I do think he's that good. I think one of the things I said at the start of the show as well is managers' influence in the modern game is becoming more and more evident. Not just the managers, but the coaching, the system, the style, the recruitment. And Brighton seemingly get all of them right. I did a video after the Brighton Man United game. Well, first of all on United, but then I just felt like I have to talk about Brighton despite not wanting to. I said right at the start of the video, and I'm going to echo it here. I said the biggest compliment I can give him is I didn't even look at Brighton's starting 11 because I knew what they were going to be like. It really doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Who plays.
No,
everyone plays the same. I mean, I can exaggerate it even further quite easily. There's 100 million, 150 million pound centre forward in Evan Ferguson that everybody wants. And there's a player which people kind of laugh at, a little bit of a joke when you link Danny Welbeck to, can he play for the England team again? People laugh it off. He ain't good.
He's good. I would take him at United over Martial, 100%. I would.
And the fact that he can just remove this 150 million pound player and put in a striker who can't get into the England squad, it'd be flawless. Danny Welbeck to have a brilliant game, score a goal, interlink the play just as well as anybody else on the pitch, work as hard as anybody else on the pitch. That to me is testament to how good this bloke is. And that's just one example. I could give you about 5.
Lamptey, bro. Lamptey's not played really since he's been there. He looked really good under Potter. Got a bit of an injury and he's not really been in the side. They've been playing Gross and Milner there at right back so far this season. He came in and he was fantastic and got
left back as well.
Yeah, he got 2 assists and he was great. Stuff like that. That's what being a top manager is. Pep does it at City, granted with a lot more money, but just having the system and having a squad that can play that system and doing it fucking well. Like, you look at his transfers, man. So Caicedo, McAllister and Sanchez. Sanchez kind of fell off a cliff, but start of last season, when he picked up that squad, they're 3 of their most important players. He's brought in, the only player of note that he's really brought in is the new keeper, Bart Verbruggen, and João Pedro from Watford, who, again, isn't the finish article by any means. They've brought in a couple of other players that I don't really know enough about to comment on, but he's not really added that much to that squad. And they look just as good, if not better, than they did last season.
I was going to say, they look better than last season. If that happened at any other club in the Premier League, there is 100% a drop-off. You can't lose key players like that and still play the same. To get the brand of football arguably better, it's been early doors, but visually it looks a little bit better.
It does look really good.
Curtis,
you boys have touched on most of it there, I think. But in my opinion, he's literally the next big thing in managerial. I just think he's gonna go right to the top. I think I'm talking like Madrid, Barca. I'm talking he will be at a massive club in the next few years. There's no way in a couple of seasons he's still at Brighton. Like Dill said, he's tactically so versatile in the way that if the games were going for them, the United game is a prime example. You boys were all over them first 20 minutes, and then he saw that he didn't like the way it was going, and because his players are so well drilled, the instructions come on, they react to it. They obviously respect him well, and the game changes. I think, like you said there, with Lamptey as well, I really liked him when he was at Chelsea. I was a bit gutted we let him go. But he's come on heaps and bounds, and he's working miracles, like you said there, with players who aren't world-class players on paper, but the way they're playing, in the system they're playing, and the tactics they're playing, they're very, very good. And I said this on a show a few weeks ago. I think they could seriously push for top 4 this year. I don't think they will, but I think they'll definitely apply pressure. I think they'll finish above Newcastle. And I think if they do have a blinding season, which they might well do, he may well be gone next season.
I just wanted to add to that. It's testament also to how shit United are at the minute, but how good he and Brighton are. That, like you said, Dan, I was at the pub on the toll gate before the game, saw that team sheet, and I still expected Brighton to beat us because it doesn't matter who they play, when they're playing, what players they're using. It always works. And yeah, don't get me wrong, they're not going to win every game this season and win the league with 110 points or something, but it's something that really can't be understated when you see other managers get a couple of injuries like we have, like Klopp has, and the team falls apart. It's a really good quality to have. And I think, I echo what Curtis says. He'll end up at a City. I know we're not the best, but United, Madrid, Barca, Bayern. He'll end up at one of those clubs because he's too good to stay at Brighton.
I mean, other than falling slightly below Ange in your list, is there anything you want to add, JD?
So, the way I'm looking at it, obviously, they were nowhere near, but it's giving me like a old school, like Southampton feel, like just selling all their best players, and then the youth ranks just coming through, players from nowhere, and then just obviously Southampton, after a while, they just dipped off. But again, going off what Curtis said, I feel like they're just going to go up and up and up, and De Zerbi is going to again be at a massive club like Bayern, like Barca, Spurs, whatever. And then he's just going to excel these teams to the top again.
And I really hope he does it because I don't want to see him go to a club and, it's not going to be the same because he is better. Potter-esque and him fall off.
I
do. But
it goes to show the power of a well-coached club. To me, it feels more authentic than what everybody else in the Prem is needing to do. Obviously, Man United included, but everybody else as well. To be able to do it on the budget that he does, it's mint. It's good.
It's annoying because I hate Brighton more than anyone, but I really, really like him. So if he left and went somewhere else, I can support him and wish death on the Seagulls.
I just wanted to say as well, if he does move, and when he does move, inevitably, he has to go to the club that's right for him. He needs to go to a club that they've got a great infrastructure. They're gonna build him a squad, not just for him, but that's got a similar ethos to what he has, and aren't going to throw him under the bus and do kind of what they did to Potter. I know Potter was shit, but that didn't help either. We've also understated the talent of that Brighton recruitment team and the way the club's run, and he wouldn't be doing as well as he had if he didn't have that above him. So I think his only option for me to definitely succeed is to go to a club like Man City that's ran so well. If he goes to a United or Liverpool, there's
definitely not United or Chelsea, basically.
Yeah, or well, not even maybe a Barcelona could be good because they're very much based on the brand of football they play and they pride themselves in that. Whereas a club like Real Madrid, or Liverpool, or Man United are all very much, especially United and Madrid, very much results based names, and I don't think it'd work. So if he does go out, I want to see him, even if it means no, that's a lie. I was just about to say, even if it means him going there after Pep and City carrying on doing well.
I think I could honestly see that happening. I could see him going to City after Pep in a year or two's time for sure.
Yeah, I can see it. I'm going to speed run my one just to save some time, and then we'll get on to some football tennis. Pep Klopp, De Zerbi, Arteta, Ange. I've done De Zerbi over Arteta as well, and I have put Ange on the list, and I'll explain why in a second. The reason why Arteta in fourth and De Zerbi in third is just because I cannot understate how much I rate De Zerbi. I love what Arteta has done at Arsenal. I think the fact that he was so ruthless at the beginning and he almost accepted 2 years of mediocrity being eighth just because despite Arsenal fans not being happy at the time, he knew within himself that the long-term plan was always going to outweigh the short-term plan. And the fact that he was able to trust himself and then implement it can't be understated enough. I think he's done a fantastic job. I can't put him above Klopp and Pep for very obvious reasons. It's just my love for De Zerbi rather than my hate for Arteta that's put him there. The reason why Ange is on the list is because progressive, attacking, possession-based football has to exist in the modern game if you're going to be successful. These are the only 5 managers that do it in the Premier League. These are the only 5, which is why Ange had to be on the list. He hasn't earned being on there, not by a long shot. But the way that I list was more looking into the future rather than looking backwards. Who would I rather have at my make-believe club, like I said at the beginning, and that's why Ange crept in. But
you take Ange over Poch?
Yeah, Poch is further down. The reason for Poch being a little bit lower is just because I love what he does with his football clubs, not with his 11, not necessarily with his tactics that he implements. His clubs, when he builds a culture, and he like Spurs when they're a little bit younger, and he breeds them all through. I didn't like the way his PSG team really annoyed me because I was really looking forward to that Neymar, Messi, Mbappe,
Yeah.
and to watch them away at Manchester City being so lethargic, walking back. I just
Just
think
naive, wasn't it?
he needs to re-earn his flowers to be able to be put up on there. But I take all your points about Poch before because, I mean, they're unarguable, really. He is very good. Let's move on to football tennis.
Hey, jingle.
Jingles.
Can I ask one question before we do it?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's going back to De Zerbi again. But would Dortmund be a step up, step to the side, or step down for De Zerbi?
Step down.
I think it's a sideways step.
I don't think it
should
increases.
Be a step up.
Yeah,
should be a step up.
But but it wouldn't increase his stock within the game because of how rated the Premier League is. You know, you see managers come from massive teams like Sporting or, you know, even a Dortmund. And yeah, some of them have got big jobs, but some of them go to like mid-table Premier League teams. I don't think that's going to help him get a bigger job than that down the line.
I agree. I think you go to Dortmund to be basically it's a step below a good Premier League. I don't think it's a step down. I think that's a bit harsh, but I don't think it's.
I mean, it's career-wise.
I think it's sideways. Yeah. I just think it's
he's
a
not
bit
going
of
to
a
win
plateau.
anything, really. He'd do well too. Maybe it's not a step down. They're a bigger club. They've got better players and more money.
It is a club which,
doing it.
In theory, it would suit his stylistics, right? They're a footballing club. They're run for the right reasons for football. So I think if they wanted him, they wanted his brand of football. I think they'd be very open ears about how he goes about doing that. So I don't think it would be a bad move for him in terms of being able to do what Dill said: pick your right club, pick your next club correctly. Especially, it would be like Champions League, almost guaranteed. More eyes would be on him. So as a stepping stone, it probably more money, I would assume. I mean,
they're very similar to Brighton, aren't they? You know, sell the best players, reinvest, bring them through. Like
they're a feeder club, aren't they?
That. Yeah, they're based on a good brand of football. I do think if you play Brighton against Dortmund, Brighton would probably beat them, and that's being completely honest because Dortmund.
I agree as well.
But I think it's just the similar level to Brighton. They're just in the Champions League by virtue of the quality in the Bundesliga not being as good as the Prem.
Yeah, I really like Dortmund as well. And by the way, every club is a feeder club if you support Real Madrid. So.
That's true.
Valid.
Next one, football tennis. So it is managers, again, sticking with the theme, managers who have won the Champions League. Now, I was going to stick with just the Champions League, but there's so many repeats. I've also included the European Cup. So when you start listing these out, give me a second to catch up because there's a lot.
Cool. I don't want to start this time because I'm not getting fucking stiffed again.
It's going to go Curtis and then JD will start next one. So we'll go Curtis, JD, Dylan.
Cool.
Bro, my head's gone blank.
Curtis, you can go first in 3, 2, 1.
Pep.
Yep.
Klopp.
Yep.
Tuchel.
Yep.
Fergie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry.
Ancelotti.
Yeah, of course.
Why the fuck's my mind gone blank? Fucking, this is abysmal. Fucking Bob Paisley for counting European Cup.
Yeah, it's Bob Paisley's on there. Yeah.
Bobby Robson.
Yeah.
Johan Cruyff.
Yep.
Luis Enrique.
Yep.
Di Matteo.
Yes. I was waiting for the Chelsea one.
Oh, you bastard. That was the one I was going to go for.
I've got a few now. I'm all right.
If he's not been set, Zidane?
Yep.
Yeah, it's not. Fuck, that's mental. Sir Matt Busby.
Sorry?
Sir Matt Busby.
Yes.
I had Zidane and one other, and now my mind's gone blank. Mourinho.
Sorry?
Mourinho,
yeah.
Oh, what's his name? Oh, I've had an absolute stinker again.
There's a few which are gettable.
Yeah.
I do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Fuming.
Me?
He's not on there yet.
Rafa Benitez.
Yes.
Oh, you wanker. That was my one, Bill.
Sorry.
No, he's been said, hasn't he?
You can say it. You won't get shorted off if you.
Yeah, no. I was going to say Ancelotti, but you said it earlier.
Yeah.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Did Rijkaard ever win it?
Yep.
Oh, nice. Bill Shankly.
Yep.
Straight back on Kurt. Nice.
Rijkaard was one I was umming and ahhing with, to be fair.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I was a bit unsure. No, he's not won it.
Never see me coming.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Nah.
1. No?
Still take the dub.
I had one more.
Who was that?
Jupp Heynckes.
Oh, well done. Look
What?
at you with the
Where are you
knowledge.
pulling these names out?
Any other obvious ones we forgot?
I don't think I'm literally just going through. What my thing was just going through clubs that I know and naming managers.
Yeah. Obviously, Heinkes won it with
Bayern.
Bayern, yeah.
I
Obviously,
said it's 2014, 15, something
I
like
don't
that.
know any of these
2013.
people.
Yeah,
Hansi Flick was missed off.
yeah, that's a bad one.
I mean, there hasn't been that. Vincent Del Bosque's on there,
Ryan
and then
Clough,
then you can go like your Lippies, Capello, Van Gaal, like
Oh,
on the-
Capello.
Oh yeah,
So there's Brian Clough was
Oh
missed
shit,
off as
Van
well.
Gaal won it.
yeah. I don't
Yeah,
think we've
Clough.
done that bad, all things considered.
I think
No,
we
no.
did all right. To be fair.
we've got a lot. We've got every recent one, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most recent one that was missed off was Hansi Flick, but yeah.
Yeah, that's
Didn't do
poor.
that.
That's who I was thinking of from Bayern. Like,
Yeah, it's fair. I couldn't remember who was in charge when Bayern won it.
My thought process was literally just naming big clubs. So I did all the Liverpool ones, and I was like, right, I've only got Bayern left that I know have won it. And for some reason, Jupp Heynckes came to my mind before Hansi Flick did. I've got no idea why.
Yeah, fair. I think we did all right there. To be fair,
Yeah.
I was better than the
Okay,
first
cool.
round.
We got one more round of football tennis, and then we are
Have
out of
we?
here.
Let's go. To be
Oh,
fair,
another one.
I definitely would be better at these, I think, at like lunchtime. It's a bit tough when you've been at work.
I agree.
Your brain.
I'm brain dead.
You're
Yeah.
brain dead.
After I
Yeah.
film these, I literally have my tea and just mong out for the rest of the night.
Okay,
I was
well,
lying in bed thinking about it.
I've won one though. Won my first football tennis. I didn't even celebrate.
I thought you won them both. Was that incorrect? Oh, okay.
No.
Curtis won, didn't he? Because I
Oh,
Come
sure.
on.
I've got to win one. Come on, boys.
I
rig it.
bottled that England squad and forgot about 16 of it.
the next one again is manager related. It is
Oh god.
Come on.
managers in the Premier League who have won more than once, so they need to have won it twice. Premier League Manager of the Month.
Shit, a Brit.
Oh,
This is
oh,
guesswork.
Fucking hell. This is guesswork. It is guesswork.
No, because there's gonna be a good chunk of obvious, and when it comes
It's
away
crazy.
from obvious,
There is
then
some.
we need
I
to-
know there's some crazy stats though about managers that have never won it. So
Yeah, I agree. What? So they have to have won it more than twice.
Yeah,
Twice or more.
All right.
twice
or
or
more.
more.
All right.
I've got the list from twice or more. It's all down here
Cool.
for you.
So JD, me, Curtis, right?
You got it.
God.
Yes, in 3, 2, 1.
Pep.
Third on the list. Yep.
Wow, Sir Alex.
First on the list. Yep.
Klopp.
Fifth on the list. Yep.
Pochettino.
16th on the list. Yes.
Oh wow, fuck me. Okay. I'm struggling now with ones that have definitely done it. Oh fuck me. This is really poor, Dill.
No one's got the one that's second, which is worrying me.
That's bad. Roberto Mancini. That's not going to be on there. I'm out. Why have I said that? Gonna change it.
No, you can't change it.
Gonna change it then.
He's on there.
might be on there.
He's
Oh,
31st.
no!
He's 31st. He's 31st. Next,
That's really bad.
Mourinho must be on there.
Mourinho is on there. Yeah.
I remember some crazy stat about him never winning it.
Mourinho is joint 16th with Pochettino.
Oh right, I thought it'd be lower than that. Respect.
Nuno Espirito Santo.
Oh fucking
Jesus.
hell, Connor.
That's rogue, but yeah, he's also 6th with Jose and Pochettino, which is
He's
nuts.
six. Sorry, he's 16th on the list.
16th. He's in the same block as Pochettino and Mourinho.
That's fucking mental, by the way.
Yep.
Rafa Benitez.
is on here. Yes, in 8th.
Come on, fucking hell! I'm surprised he's that
Um,
high.
Ancelotti?
The fact
That's a
that
good shout.
Ancelotti's there in 12th.
We've not, we've not got some big legendary Premier League manager that we somehow all forgotten about, right?
He's second. Yeah,
I think this is the one that he's talking about. Arsene Wenger.
second.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. How the fuck have we forgotten that? It's me,
Still-
innit? It's me. I'm
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with pick old Parteta and hope he's on there. If he's not,
yeah,
then
he's,
my agenda's
he's
gonna
not.
win
He's
it, but-
9th. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm going to go Brendan Rodgers.
Shout. Good shout. I've got a good one.
Yeah, I'm out here. Eddie
This-
Howe.
Yes, Brendan Rodgers, 23rd. He's
that
only
might be
ever won
right.
3 of them.
Jesus.
Who did you say?
He didn't hear what I said, so I can change mine.
What did you say?
You said Eddie Howe.
I think it's on there. I think he'll be on there, man. He had a
Eddie
good
Howe.
season.
Yeah, fuck yeah, Eddie Howe.
Eddie Howe's in 12th. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at that. I'm going to go for a rogue one, but he's managing the Prem for so long. Harry Redknapp, he's got to have won at least 2.
6th. Yep.
Nice.
I was going to go Rogue as well. Well, not Rogue, older, and go Roy Hodgson.
When you said older, you weren't lying. 16th. Yes.
He's an old
You-
boy.
He's in the same. He's in the same block as Poch and Nuno, obviously.
It's a big block, this. It's full of shit.
JD.
Andre Villas-Boas.
AVB. You gone Spurs heavy. That's rogue. He's right at the bottom of the list with 2. Yeah. He's
Wow.
last on the list. Yeah.
David Moyes.
David Moyes definitely on there. Yeah. David Moyes is in 4th.
Cool. Fucking hell, he's done well. I want that shot.
Ranieri.
That's good.
Yeah, in 12th. Good shout, by the way. I knew he'd be on there. I just had to find him.
I'm struggling now. Roberto Martinez.
It's not your go.
Oh shit, well that's mine, so don't steal it.
All right, I won't steal it. But sorry if I've got his first name wrong. Paolo Di Canio?
Oh, there's no way he's on there.
No, he's
There's
not.
no way he's on there.
No.
Collar's out.
on then,
yeah.
Bill.
Who did I say now? The name's just left me.
Yeah, unlucky.
You said Martinez.
Oh no, Roberto Martinez. Yeah, thank you.
Roberto Martinez.
He's got to be on there. He's in the Prem for so long.
Oh, he's got to be on there, but I'm not finding him.
Oh no! I've got another good one who's been in the Prem for so long. Who should be on there? He's been in the Prem
As if
long.
Villas-Boas was there. What the hell?
Is he not in there?
No, he's on there. Yeah.
Oh, thank the fucking Lord.
Come on, Curtis.
He's
I've got
literally
one, but
on
it's a little bit
2.
risky.
That's mad.
I'm going to go. Oh, how long have I got?
15.
You're all right.
Still mine. I'm goosed. I've got a couple actually.
How?
I'm
I
going
had
to go
to
with Conte.
Yeah. he's
Yeah,
got-
Conte's on there. Yeah, 23rd with 3. I had to search for Martinez because he wasn't on the official list, and then it went
Oh.
down, and he's got 2. I can see it. No.
I've got 2 that I could go with here, and I don't know which one's better, but I'm going to go Alan Pardew.
Whew.
Yeah, good shout. Good shout.
Yeah, he's 23rd with 3.
Only 3. He came 5th for Newcastle.
Do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
I'm going to go Pellegrini.
Yeah, he's on there 16th with 4 with Mourinho and that. Yep.
Steve Bruce.
Steve Bruce.
He's got to be on there, right?
Definitely.
What?
If he's not on there, that is.
That's
got to be
mental
on
if
there.
he's not on there. I've got another one, but it doesn't matter if he's not on. I've lost. He's not on there, is he? Are you joking?
Steve Bruce is not on there. No.
Fuck off!
Yes.
No chance, man.
That's
Was Martin O'Neill on there?
Martin O'Neill's on there, yeah.
Fuck.
I was going to go.
You know what? Martin O'Neill's actually in 6th.
Why didn't I go Martin O'Neill? What a twat!
Get in there, Kurt. Is that 2 wins on football tennis? Vamos.
Who were you
I
going to
didn't
go
get
with?
any. What? Warren
I was
win.
my next one was Keegan. Oh, he's there.
Yeah, he's
Nice.
12.
Yeah.
Why did you go Martin O'Neill, you daft bastard? I'm Googling this.
Also, Kerbishley was another one in my head.
Who the hell is Gordon Strachan?
What?
The Scottish guy. He's played for Man United.
He's like one of the most legendary Scottish footballers ever.
Like Celtic manager legend.
Up to Scotland.
Kenny Dalglish. Sean Dyche. Good shout.
Fucking
Roy Evans.
I had a couple
Tim
more to be fair. I
Hag's
was gonna
No
going
one
to say
said Ten
Tuchel.
Hag.
Yeah,
I was going to say Tuchel to be fair.
Yeah, Tuchel and Ten Hag. And
Tommy
Villas
Pulis.
Boas.
the fucking snapback merchant.
Look how
Oh yeah, Tony Pulis. Oh, I'll take
I
that,
was going to
boys.
say him. Was Mark Hughes on there?
Oh god.
It doesn't
That's what
matter.
he said, right?
Doesn't
That's what he
matter.
said, Matthew.
I had Kerbishley and Keegan. They were my next two.
Yeah, I've just Googled Steve Bruce won it for the first time in 2021. Steve Bruce wins Premier League Manager of the Month award for the first
That's
time in
mental.
his 3-year managerial career.
That's
I just went law of averages.
That's crazy.
Surely he's won it at least.
And bro, it
twice.
wasn't a
think, to
bad
be fair.
shot at all.
I thought it was a good
After the
shot.
obvious ones.
It's more annoying that Martin O'Neill's sick than I didn't say him. I just thought like on the verge of how long he's spent, and he's kept a lot of clubs up, and yeah. Oh well.
After the obvious ones, I would have went with longevity, and I think Steve Bruce would
Yeah.
have come out of my mouth as well. So I don't.
As long as the clip does well, I don't really give a shit. But well done, Curtie Worthy, the bona
about
fide
us.
football tennis quiz winner. I'm never going to win an overall trophy as long as I live.
Vamos.
Yeah, well done.
Hamstring
Speaking,
Tokyo.
I was going to say speaking
know.
of Ramos, but that means come on, doesn't it? We're
It
out of here.
does.
Sayonara is the word I'm looking for. Cheers for
Sayonara.
joining us, and I would say until next Tuesday, but there's probably a lot more to come this week. But cheers for joining, boys, and we'll